What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I want to start talking about manipulation techniques, and in this video I want to specifically talk about three of them. I'm going to go over gaslighting, love bombing, and I went over briefly what love bombing was in previous videos, but in this one I will go more in depth. And the last one I want to talk about is projection. So without further ado, let's get into it. So it wouldn't make sense to get into the techniques without fully understanding what manipulation is. So by the definition, manipulation is a coercive or unethical behavior driven by the goal of exploiting or controlling another person for your own personal gain. So basically is when somebody's actions aren't genuine and they're just acting the way they do to influence someone in order to get something that they want. So they're just basically using somebody. The first technique that we're going to get into for manipulation, and I think is very well known and one of the more common ones, is gaslighting. So let's get into that. So by definition, gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse in which a person or group causes someone to question their own sanity, memories, or perception of reality. So it's basically when someone says something or does something, and the person basically just says, "No, I never did that. You're crazy. That never happened. You're remembering it wrong." So they're like twisting your reality when you know what happened because they don't want to seem to be the bad person in the scenario. So on the screen it shows example of gaslighting phrases, and I'm just gonna run them down real quick. So just to be wary, if you're watching this, these phrases are very common with gaslighting, and it is a form of psychological abuse. So the phrases go: "You're crazy. I did it because I love you. Other people think you're crazy too. I'm sorry you think that. You don't make any sense. You're too sensitive. That's not what happened. You're overreacting. You're being paranoid. You're making things up. That's your fault. Why are you always bringing up the past?" So rather than take accountability, they try to switch the scenario and make it seem like you're at fault in the situation. The next manipulation technique I want to talk about is love bombing. Now, I think I briefly mentioned this in my first video. Check it out if you haven't seen it, but I'll go into more depth into it now. Love bombing, by definition, is manipulation through excessive attention, often showering you inappropriately with gifts, compliments, affection, and time. Now, to go over this very briefly, there's a thing called the love bombing cycle, right? So say the person, a person does something to you, and it does something where it really hurts you, and you don't talk to this person, and you've been emotionally, mentally abused. So they will understand what they did hurt you, but not take the blame. But to get you back in their good graces, they will start buying you gifts. They'll start giving you compliments. They'll start giving you all this attention. And this is just for you to start speaking to them again and for them to have this control over you. But that cycle will always continue because if you get back into it and you believe, "Oh, they're changing. Look, they're giving me all this attention. They're giving me gifts. Why would they do that?" It's so they could continue the abuse. And that's just something to look out for. And I wanted to use this picture because I thought it was a very accurately described love bombing. And you could see a man in the back holding gifts, and there's just gifts all by him, with a woman just wondering why is this happening. She's just very confused, and I feel like this describes it very well. And love bombing could be in any relationship. It could be family relationships, intimate relationships, friendships, and it's just something to look out for. So for better context and fully understanding love bombing, I've put the cycle that I just referred to. Now, this cycle is referred to as the narcissistic cycle of abuse, and the first stage is love bombing. So stage one is glorifying, aka love bombing. This is where they'll give you all the attentions, the compliments, the gifts, all that, so they know that they have you in their grasp, and you'll start to believe that they actually like you as a person. Stage two is the devaluation. This is where the abuse occurs. They'll say, they never really needed you, you do nothing for them, all these terrible things. So you start feeling that your worth is going down, so you don't want to be around this person anymore. So that will lead to stage three, which is discarding and abandonment. You'll just not talk to this person anymore. You just won't give them a time of day. And for these people, they live off this energy. This is what keeps them going. So when they realize this, they'll start back to stage one. The cycle will continue. Back to the love bombing, the gifts. So they'll say what they did, they were wrong, they were sorry, but they never really believe it. They just want you back in the grasp so they can continue the abuse. So the last manipulation technique I want to talk about in this video is projection. So by definition, projection is when one person claims an emotion they're feeling, but they don't accept that and they put it onto somebody else. Now, for example, say somebody is doing successful, right, and somebody is jealous of somebody's success. You could call them out on it and be like, you don't need to be jealous. You could just be happy for them and wish they do well. But they don't want to accept that they're jealous of somebody, so they'll say, no, you're the one that's jealous. They'll put their emotions onto you and say you're feeling it, even though it's them. This is a very common defense mechanism for people who mentally or emotionally abuse or manipulate somebody. They will never take accountability for how they feel or their actions, and they'll just say, it's you that feels that certain way, and you shouldn't. So this is a very common defense mechanism that some people use. So that brings me to the end of this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and put the notification bell on so you could be alerted for all my videos. I really appreciate the support, and thank you so much to everyone who subscribed already. I'm going to try to be more consistent with uploading, and let me know in the comments if you guys have any suggestions you want me to do. I want to continue right now on going into more manipulation tactics that people use. Now, these tactics aren't specifically like exclusive to narcissists. It could be to people who have all sorts of mental issues or disorders, but it's very important to look out for the signs to make sure you aren't in this situation, or if you're in this situation, to know how to get out of it, or just plain know that what you're dealing with is not normal. With that being said, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video.